All right, let's talk about something we've all dreamed of: passive income. The idea of making money while you're sleeping or on a beach somewhere. But what if I told you that the whole concept, as most of us understand it, is kind of wrong? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today, using a really smart framework from the entrepreneur and productivity guru, Ali Abdaal. So, boom, right out of the gate, Ali Abdaal just drops this on us. I mean, that's a pretty bold thing to say, isn't it? He's basically arguing there's no way to make money without doing anything at all. So if you came here looking for some get-rich-quick secret, sorry, it just doesn't exist. So, okay, if it's not some magic wand you wave, then what is it? Well, according to Abdal, we need to completely redefine the term. And here's the big reframe. For Abdal, passive income isn't about getting something for nothing. It's all about decoupling your time from your earnings, breaking that link. Think about writing a book. You put in a ton of work up front, the writing, the editing, all of it. But once that book is out in the world, it can earn you money for years. You could literally be making money in your sleep. But it's all because of the hard work you did that one time. That's the big idea. So, if the secret isn't effortless money, what is the real path forward? Well, it all comes down to a single, super important idea: providing value. But how does that actually play out in the real world? That's the million-dollar question, right? How do you build these systems that can make you money without you having to constantly trade your hours for dollars? The answer is actually pretty simple, but it is the foundation for absolutely everything. And here it is. This is the core principle. At the end of the day, money is just an exchange of value. So if you want to make money passively, you have to create a system that gives value to other people, a system that can run without you needing to be there every single second. This is the bedrock for everything we're about to talk about. So how do we actually do this? How do we provide that value? Well, Abdal lays out three really clear paths. And path number one is the one most people think of first: investing your capital. This is literally about putting your money to work for you. With this strategy, the value you're providing is your money, your capital. You're investing in companies, which helps them grow, and in return, they give you a piece of their profits. For a lot of people, this is the most straightforward place to start, especially if you've got some savings that are just kind of sitting there, not doing much. Okay, so just how hard is this path really? Well, if we look at Abdal's little side hustle scorecard here, the picture becomes super clear. Getting started, 1 star. Maintaining it, 1 star. I mean, it's crazy easy. You can open an investment account on your phone in like 10 minutes and just let it do its thing. The real challenge, the 3-star difficulty part, is scraping together enough cash in the first place to actually make a noticeable amount of money, like $100 a month. So what does that 3-star difficulty actually look like in dollars and cents? Well, if we go by the historical average return of the S&P 500, which is about 10% a year, you'd need roughly $12,000 invested to spit out an average of $100 every month. It's not pocket change for sure, but it gives you a really clear target to aim for. But what if you don't have 12 grand just lying around? No worries. That brings us to path number 2. Instead of investing money, you invest your time and your creativity to build a totally different type of asset: an audience. And YouTube is the perfect example here. The value you provide is entertainment or information or something that people just want to watch. But, and this is a big but, this is not an overnight thing. Abdal is really clear on this. You need to be ready to make videos consistently. He says at least once a week for a solid 2 years before you can expect to see any real results. Now, the difficulty matrix for YouTube shows us something really interesting. Starting a channel? Dead simple. 1 star. All you really need is your phone. But actually making that first $100 a month, that's a 4-star difficulty. It's so tough because you have these huge hurdles to get over, like needing 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time before you can even flip the monetization switch on. And to put that into perspective, even after you get monetized, you'd need something like 50,000 views every single month just to make $100 from YouTube ads. That's a lot of people watching, which means you've got to be putting out consistently good stuff. This slide shows a really important difference in strategy. On the left, you've got YouTube, where the algorithm is like your own personal robot, finding new people and showing them your videos. On the right, you've got something like a podcast, where the growth is way harder because you're the one who has to do all the shouting to get people to listen. All right, that brings us to our third and final path. So let's say you don't have the capital for path 1 and you're not really into the long grind of building an audience for path 2. There's another way. you can build a product. This right here is one of the most powerful ways to provide scalable value. We're talking about things like an ebook, an online course, a set of icons for a phone, or a software template. The magic of digital products is that you do the work to create it one time, but you can sell it over and over and over again. An infinite number of times, really, with basically zero cost to make another copy. Now, looking at the assessment for this one, you can see it's a bit more balanced. Getting started is a little harder, 2 stars, because you actually have to make something good. It's not as simple as opening an account or hitting record. And making your first $100 a month is a 3-star challenge, because it's not enough to just build a product. You have to build something that solves a real problem that people are willing to pay for. But the potential here, it can be absolutely mind-blowing. Abdel tells this great story about a designer on Twitter who made an icon pack for the new iOS 14 update. He did all the design work up front, and then in just a few weeks, he made over $300,000. That is the insane power of creating a valuable digital product that people want at exactly the right time. So, we've just walked through 3 very different ways to approach this. And now, the spotlight kind of turns back to you. Because this whole thing isn't about finding some secret formula. It's about picking a strategy that actually makes sense for you. So here's the big takeaway from all this. There are clear, real, actionable paths you can take. It doesn't matter if you have money to invest, or time to create content, or a skill you can turn into a product. Each one of these paths gives you a way to finally start decoupling your time from your income. And really, that's the only question that matters. Just forget the myth of passive income. Instead, ask yourself this one simple question. Because the answer could be the start of a whole new journey for you. One where you build a system that keeps providing value and earning for you long after the initial work is done. Thanks for joining this explainer.